my god! It's beautiful! I mean, it's ugly. It's kind of supposed to be ugly. It's a barbarian. It's a bunch of gooseneck barnacles. And it's theoretically a bunch of Hamsa, for reasons we dove into and explained in Barbaracle's own video. And now, as a Mega Barbaracle, I think they kinda confirmed that theory, thanks to its pose especially. What do I mean by that? Allow me to explain. But first though, can I just reenact my whole aha moment when I first saw Mega Barbaracle? Oh, hey, Mega Barbaracle leaked. Oh, hey, that's kind of sick. I do see the big Y shape, especially now that its legs are together in that pose. Oh man, all these arms. It almost looks like a Hindu deity. Let's see, the Hamsa that Barbaracle references is originally Middle Eastern, but it's spread to North Africa and Southern Europe, and I know the Middle East did a ton of trade with India. So let's look up Hamsa in the context of India. Oh, it's a bird! It's a goose! Because it's a gooseneck barnacle. Oh, why does it all come together? First though, are you a gamer? Well, sure, but is your phone a gamer phone? Would you like it to be? This video is sponsored by the RedMagic 11 Pro, the first liquid-cooled smartphone with the cutting-edge Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 platform, which is to say it's next-gen powerful and built for gaming first. Which should be clear by the visible liquid cooling, a fan you can manually control if you want, dynamic RGB lighting, an insane 144Hz AMOLED screen with next-gen touch control, a surprisingly long battery despite all that, shoulder triggers, and a blessed audio jack! From the home screen, you can flip the switch and enter the hub. Access to all of your game libraries, as well as a plethora of extra plugins to help you win more games. Things like double tap assist, crosshair overlays, button remapping, macro controls, timers, counters, magnifiers, and somatosensory control. I've been using it for about a month now, and it's definitely a gaming powerhouse with more game-oriented extras that I've barely even scratched the surface of. But I have learned that I am very bad at Pokemon Unite and Delta Force. I can't even blame a crummy phone anymore. Check it out with the link at the top of this video's description and upgrade your gaming capabilities to win more games. Why, oh why, does Barbaracle out of every Pokemon have to be one of the deepest? Egad, it is a Berber bar saying barbarian barnacle, and now it's like 3 layers deep of Hamsa too. But as for the hand symbol Hamsa, it did indeed make its way to India, where it gained quite a lot of the symbolic meaning that is still mostly taught as having these days. Many Buddhists and Hindus that practice energy healing use the Hamsa as a symbol for chakra energy flow, representing the 5 senses, and as a general symbol for mudras overall. Mudras are spiritual gestures, like those done in Indian dance and yoga. Most depictions of Hindu deities also show them doing several with their many arms. While mudras can involve the position of the entire body, many of them are differentiated just by the position of the hands. By the Middle Ages in Japanese Buddhism, hand positions were the main aspect of mudras, for example. And notice that all of these ones involve 2 hands clasping each other or touching each other in some way, just as many of the Barbaracle barnacle head hands do here too. And I can't help but wonder, with Barbaracle's main head hand being the only one with all 5 fingers, and now the 2 middle ones are the only ones that are bent? Is that a mudra? Why yes! Sort of. There's a creative liberty taken here, likely for 2 reasons. I'll explain those reasons first. First, Pokemon very rarely directly references real-world religious things. There's always a spin on it in order to avoid any claims of pushing foreign religions on my kids, and all that. The most recent example I can think of is how the seal that locked the ruinous quartet away is very much so based on the symbols of blessing in Feng Shui. See their video for those details, but just looking at it, like, yeah, it isn't exactly it, but just because of the way it looks and all of the lore around it, it is very clearly inspired by it. And the second reason is likely just for the sake of the design. You see, the common mudra that Barbaracle's head is closest to is the Apana Mirigi mudra. But if they had its head completely do that, its eyes would be covered. It needs to see. You need to see its eyes. But what is this mudra said to do for energy healing practitioners? Well, it's said to promote the free flow of energy in your lower abdomen. So if you have any health problems related to your reproductive system or intestines, meditating with this mudra will supposedly help. I mean, barnacles do nothing but filter feed and... But I don't think that's what they were going for. Well, in more modern settings, it is said to also detoxify the body. I do feel my liver working. But filter feeders like clams and barnacles, that's what they do. They detoxify the water. They up the pollutants and make it nicer. Though there's also the Simhamakahasta mudra, which, same thing. If Barbaracle completely did this, you wouldn't be able to see its beautiful eyes. But this mudra is used less by healers and more by dancers. It's said to resemble a lion's face, and it bolsters the dancer with heightened strength and courage. And I think that actually does work. Mega Barbaracle is part fighting type now, a type all about strength and courage. And as we've already seen with Quaquaval, being a dancer can lead to being fighting type. Many styles of dance require intense strength and training to pull off, just like a lot of fighting techniques. And Indian dance is a common place to see many mudra. It's almost like a sign language in a way. You can tell stories with it, which is why a lot of Hindu deities are depicted doing several of them. It's showing different aspects of their power. But why a Hindu barnacle here and now? Well, while there were those who disagreed with the theory in this old video covering the legendaries of Pokemon X and Y, I think it's worth bringing it up again now that we're back in Lumiose. While Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde get their animal forms from the animals that live around Yggdrasil in Norse mythology, they theoretically get their powers and roots from the Turimurti. I'm mispronouncing that. Trimurti. It's the triple deity of supreme divinity in Hinduism. Brahma, the creator, Shiva, the destroyer, and Vishnu, the preserver, who maintains order between the two. There's a reason 50% and complete Zygarde have all those snake faces around and behind it. And on 50%, could you see those as representing 6 tiny little arms? Definitely give that video a watch after this one, but this is just to say that there's now another possible reference to Hinduism in Kalos. As for why, though, I mean, only 0.2% of France is Hindu. But, like, if Halucha is here because of the French-Mexican War that happened and inspired luchadors in the first place, maybe there's some Hindu references here because of the Carnatic Wars. France did also try to colonize India, and even successfully built 5 settlements. They just later lost to England, hence the British being the biggest colonizer of India. But let's back away from India now and talk about another possibility. In the bulk of the Western world, the pinky and pointer finger up with the rest of the fingers bent makes the rock on or devil horn symbol. But of course, Mega Barbaracle's head still isn't exactly that hand symbol because again, that would be covering up its beautiful face. But it still evokes that gesture, which is associated with heavy rock and metal music, which very well could be the idea given its rock type and those 2 fingers being lightning bolt shaped, a symbol also associated with the music genres. Oh gosh, is it like a walking mosh pit of barnacles? No, that's too cool of an idea for it. But, as I explain in that regular Barbaracle video, this hand position is much older than the music genre. Like the Hamsa, it dates back to the magical beliefs of the ancient Middle East. Performing this gesture was a ward protecting you from the curse of an evil eye, which, you should really go watch Barbaracle's video, is quite associated with the Hamsa. Now, there's one more possible origin I'd like to cover, and it's the most befitting of France, which, like most of Western Europe, traces its political roots to ancient Greece, hence there being a number of more Greek Pokemon in Kalos. A lesser-known set of mythic giants in Greek mythology are the so-called hundred-handed ones, Hecatoncheires? Hecatoncheires. A hecaton of cherries! Who not only had 100 hands, but also 50 heads that sprang forth from their limbs, which themselves sprang forth from their shoulders. Very odd. But notably, not all of the hands on Mega Barbaracle have eyes like before. Each one is not necessarily its own head, perhaps reflecting this difference in number. In some depictions, their main head is even significantly larger than the others, which could further link them to our Mega Barbar as well. One named Hecatoncheires in Homer's Iliad, Aegeon, is named after sea-focused words, particularly the ancient Greek shore and waves, which, you know, is where most barnacles hang out, the shallows of the shore constantly battered by the waves. In Titanomachy, he is summoned from the ocean, and in Theogony, he becomes the son-in-law to Poseidon, god of the sea, sea, and according to Roman teacher and author Claudius Aelianus, he was a dark-hued sea god whose many strong arms can overpower huge whales. Sounds like quite the powerful foe, something one could base a mega on, no? Especially given how they are often said to be fighting against the Titans in mighty combats, holding enormous boulders in their massive hands. All that just sounds like a rock fighting type with water associations to me. But is that to say that Mega Barbaracle is all of the things I talked about in this video? Well, no. Each one is its own little theory, but said theories are a fun way to take a quick glimpse at other parts of world culture. And a part of me really doesn't want to believe that Barbaracle, of all Pokemon, is truly that deep. Thanks for watching, subscribing, liking, and supporting us through Patreon, YouTube memberships, and our merch store, and never stop using your noggin. I'm a barnacle. Ugh. Ugh.